Hello, how are you? It's Paige Severe, and today I'm going to show you how you can create a beautiful eyeshadow look using these 4 eyeshadow colors. And I've already swatched them on my arm here, so you can kind of get an idea of what they look like on the skin, at least on my fair skin. But if you haven't noticed, I'm all about kind of the earthy brown tones, and I love eyeshadow combos that can be used interchangeably with lots of other colors, but also just, they're good everyday colors, right? It's nothing too scary or crazy. So we're gonna keep this simple. I like my eyeshadow simple. And my most asked question of like good eyeshadow combos would most definitely be what brown colors to get. So first things first, I always just prime my lid. And what this does is it just gives you a nice even base to build on, which is kind of key for blending and getting like a really smooth eyeshadow look, especially if you're using cooler tones. Like this brown right here is a cooler toned brown. So you'll notice if you use like blacks or cool browns, sometimes they're trickier to blend. And so by priming your eye and having like a warmer shade underneath it, it makes all the difference. It's a game changer. Okay, so I just used my highlight color Moonlit, and then I just take a little setting powder and I just dust that over the top, like so. Okay, now, next step is to take, this is what we would refer to as a transition shade. So this color is called Sedona. It's one of our newer colors. I love it. Just like the perfect warm bricky brown. And I'm just going to take that warm color and I'm just going to sweep it all in my crease like so. And the key with eyeshadow really is to just start small. Make sure you don't get a ton of product on your brush and kind of hold back on your brush. And you'll notice as I'm sweeping it in, I'm just kind of softly blending that out. So if you always wonder like, how do you get your eyeshadow so smooth? It's just these little like techniques that make all the difference. And I have pretty deep set eyes. I have like a really strong brow bone. So I like to bring that warm shade, that transition shade up kind of above the crease of my eye, up underneath my brow. And that just really helps open up the eye. So if you have deep set eyes, that's a good little tip. Okay, easy enough, right? Okay, next step is we're gonna take that cool brown. This color is called Trust, and I just take the small side of my brush and we're literally just gonna kind of paint that color on the outer corner. Guys, I promise this is like the easiest way to do eyeshadow. It's gonna be kind of like messy as you're going along. So don't worry, because this is where the power of a good blend comes in. Okay, so just kind of painted that in the outer corners, and then I'm gonna flip over to the fluffy side and just do these little blending motions. I kind of blend it in this way, and then make sure that the outer edge is blended really nicely as well. If you want it more kind of defined outer edge, like a little bit more intense, just blend less. And like I said, always start small and then you can build and add more color, because sometimes it's harder to get a good blend if you have too much eyeshadow on there. Just very subtle, right? Super pretty. Okay, now you could certainly just take your brush and put the shimmer color on. The shimmer always goes on the lid. But I like to have more pigment in my shimmer, and so I always just use my finger whenever I'm doing a shimmer shade to really get a little pop. But if you want a more subtle shimmer on the lid, just use your brush. So I'm literally just going to tap this on my lid, kind of blend it in with that dark outer corner. Oh, hello! I am wearing the color Plum. It's pretty much the color I wear every single day. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. This color is called Snowbird, and I love it. It's kind of like a cooler, oh gosh, what's the word? It's not copper. I don't know. I haven't decided. Champagne? That's the word. It's kind of like a champagne color. Isn't it so pretty? I love it. Okay, then my final step on the top of my lid is I'm just going to take this beautiful shade called Drift. If you are familiar with the Saint line and you have any of the Saint eyeshadows, it's kind of like Sabrina, but better. It's more pigmented, a little bit more kind of, what's the word? A little more pow. At least on my fair skin, it shows up a little bit better than Sabrina. So I'm just gonna set this on the inner corner, kind of bring it up into that shimmer shade. Like that. And if you're like, I think I want a little bit more out here, I'm just gonna add a little bit more depth. So like I said, just kind of start small and then you can play around with it and see, oh, do I want a little bit more warmth or do I want a little bit more color here? You can always build onto it, especially if you're trying to take it from like maybe just a day look to a night look. Okay, now with the lower lash line, guys, I hardly ever wear, in fact, I don't think I ever wear liner. I love to just use eyeshadow as eyeliner. So what I always do is kind of the same process. I'm gonna take that warm shade, Sedona, and I'm just going to put Sedona all along my lower lash line to warm it up, and then we're just gonna build color on top of that. So I always take the darkest shade on the outer corner, and I'm just going to put that here, and then I usually bring it up, so we want to create a little lift with the eye. So outer edge almost to the center here. And then the remaining part of my lash line, I'm gonna do that Snowbird shade, our champagne color. And just kind of sweep it inwards like this. I love how a little like gold or just a shimmer shade underneath really kind of pops the eyes. And then our last color, Drift, I'll just kind of bring that in like that. So easy, right? So easy. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing over here. And then I'll show you my last little tip for eyeshadow. I usually do my eyeshadow first before I put on my makeup. But for this tutorial, it's excuse me, got some eyeshadow in my throat. Okay, what blush am I wearing? I actually mixed two colors today. I mixed Plum with Candy, which is one of our newer like pink shades. So I get a little bit of that mauve, a little bit more pink. Okay, darker shade on the outer corner, a little Snowbird right here. And then Drift again on the inner corner. Okay, so pretty, right? So then the next thing I'm going to do is I like to just take the detail brush. Let me show you. This is the detail brush. This is what I use for my contour. And I just take the small side and I'm gonna go in with Moonlit, which is my concealer shade. And I just come right underneath that shadow and bring it all the way up to my temple. And this just kind of cleans up any fallout from the shadow and creates a nice little lift under the eyes. And then I'll just kind of feather that out. And then we'll do the same thing over here. I honestly have like so many favorite brown, earthy toned eyeshadow combos. This is just one of my many favorites. So I will share this palette in my stories, where you can always DM me for a link to it as well. Or if you're like, I want something a little different, I can always create a custom kind of eyeshadow palette for your eye color. This is really good. Honestly, this is like a good eyeshadow palette for any eye color. Yeah, really, anyone can wear this. Okay, and then last little step is I'll usually just add a little mascara. And if you want more depth in at the top of your lash line, just kind of come from the top and down. But I just like to do this part of my lashes because I don't want it too dark. I want to keep some light there by my waterline. Yes, Tiffany, plum. And I'll put all, I'm gonna save this as an IGTV so you guys can reference this, and I'll put all the colors in there as well. Okay, making a mess of mascara. It's hard to do it in a video. But I like to keep my lower lashes very simple on the mascara. Okay, thanks for watching, you guys. If you have any questions, you can send me a DM, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.